Today we are going to Russia and the Siberian region. The city of Yakutsk, a city with a population of about 300,000, is known as the coldest inhabited city in the world. In winter, temperatures reach -40 to -70 degrees Celsius, and living in these conditions requires high adaptability. But in this bone-chilling cold, how does love form? In other words, how do people date, fall in love, and eventually start families? Do you think about what life is like in a place where winter temperatures are as cold as Mars? Or even how falling in love happens in a place where the air is so cold it can burn your skin? In the city of Yakutsk, romantic meetings require precise planning due to the extreme cold. In fact, love indeed flows everywhere and always, and with its truly comforting warmth, it can warm people's hearts even in the coldest regions. Therefore, life doesn't stop in this icy world. People plan for their future, start families, and even fall in love. But how? First of all, in Yakutsk, people usually meet in indoor places like cafes, restaurants, and cultural centers. In these places, when they want to eat something, they usually start with hot tea to shake off the cold from their bodies. Additionally, they constantly apply moisturizing creams, and they use it in large amounts to prevent dryness and cracking of the skin. Since a beautiful and well-groomed appearance can play a significant role in attracting people, people here, even in severe cold, try to maintain a neat and attractive appearance. In other words, even though staying warm in this weather is a priority, but still, girls put on makeup and like to look pretty and tidy. Perhaps many introductions and the start of many relationships happen in a very natural and unplanned way, right when we see someone outside and we like them, at the very moment when we feel a connection. So we try to get a bit closer to them and truly get to know them. However, finding love in Yakutsk is not that easy. In fact, it's the cold weather that prevents such introductions. On the other hand, in the small community of Yakutsk, dating apps are not very popular, and most introductions happen through mutual friends or events like gatherings, university parties, birthdays, or even in clubs. Therefore, many people find their boyfriends and girlfriends through their mutual friends. Let me put it this way. It's quite normal here for friends to find matches for each other and play the role of matchmaker. Joking aside, what I mean is that social circles play a very important role in expanding relationships here. It's interesting to know that in Yakutsk, generally the number of girls is higher than the number of boys. This increases the competition among girls to find a life partner and their soulmate. That's why the girls here really take care of their appearance, and even in this bone-chilling cold, they maintain their style. For example, under their warm clothes, they wear beautiful dresses and always try to maintain a warm, stylish, and fashionable look. Moreover, in almost all the warm and cozy restaurants and cafes in Yakutsk, there is a special area where guests can take off their jackets and winter clothes. Therefore, the playful girls here take advantage of this space and swap their woolen pants for high-heeled fur shoes. However, staying stylish in Yakutsk is not an easy task at all. For example, the cold can cause earrings to create a burning sensation in the ears due to the extreme cold, forcing the girls to take them off and put them in their pockets. One of the romantic customs here is that boys buy flowers for girls on their very first date. In fact, giving flowers in Yakutsk is not just a romantic gesture. You could say it's a kind of tradition. Men here usually give flowers for any occasion, dates, birthdays, anniversaries, and even for no particular reason. Some men even buy flowers for their loved ones every day just to bring a smile to their face. Additionally, the men here are somewhat traditional. For example, they pay for the restaurant where they have their date. They always buy gifts for their partner and are very considerate and courteous, even if it's their first date. Many of them also accompany their partner home at the end of the night or buy them something. In Yakutsk, many people's main goal is to start a family. However, the important point is that due to the small population and specific conditions, relationships here usually progress faster and many people get married in their early 20s. On the other hand, parents also become concerned about the delay in their children's marriage if they remain single for too long. Often, couples are expected to have children immediately after marriage, as having a family is considered a natural step after getting married. Now, what about marrying people from other cultures? It must be said that most people in Yakutsk prefer to marry within their own culture, as traditions and values are important to them. On the other hand, the opportunity for relationships with foreigners in Yakutsk itself is very limited. However, if someone moves to larger cities or abroad, the likelihood of such relationships increases. But let's see how weddings are held in this city. I must emphasize again that weddings here are always held indoors because it's extremely cold outside. The guests usually number around 200, but some weddings can even reach up to 500 people. The ceremony is a mix of modern Western style with their own traditions. For example, before the celebration begins, they bring in a spiritual leader called a shaman to bless the couple and ask the universe for goodness and happiness for them. It's interesting to know that weddings in Yakutsk are not only large, but also costly. Each wedding usually costs around $15,000 to $20,000. However, families all chip in together to make the wedding memorable. Guests usually give money as gifts rather than other things. Because in their culture, this is more common and helps offset some of the expenses. On the other hand, food at weddings is very important. There is plenty of it, and guests should be well fed. The celebration itself lasts 2 to 3 days and includes many programs and entertainment. For example, there is a host and MC who keeps the crowd lively with games and jokes. But how does the life of the newlyweds go after marriage? First of all, in terms of expenses, parents usually help their children at the start of their married life. For example, buying and owning a house in Yakutsk is very important, and in this regard, the families of the couples assist them. Another topic in the discussion of expenses is that women here can choose whether to work or to take care of the children. Many go to work, but some prefer to stay home and raise the children. Men, on the other hand, have the role of being the breadwinners of the family. In summary, families usually have 2 or 3 children. Of course, the cost of raising children here is less than in other places because education and healthcare are free. Ultimately, the harsh winters have brought couples closer together as they need to support each other to endure the cold. They usually share their problems and challenges with each other and overcome difficulties through cooperation. But this closeness is not just between husbands and wives. Parents, other family members, relatives, and friends also play a significant role in this life. It can be said that the cold weather has brought people closer together, and with the warmth of their presence, they keep their lives warm. Now you might ask yourself, why do the people of Yakutsk endure all these hardships and challenges and continue living in such a place? In other words, why don't they just migrate? I should say that about 400,000 people live in this city, but the entire region, officially known as the Sakha Republic or the Republic of Yakutia, has a population of approximately 1 million. In any case, people don't leave here because this is their home. Several generations of their families have lived here, and their culture and traditions are rooted here. It's true that living in these conditions is not easy. If you go outside without proper clothing, the air will burn your skin, and there's always the risk of frostbite. Even simple tasks like starting the car or going out require planning. Because the winters are so long and dark, people spend a lot of time indoors, and sometimes they feel intensely lonely. Nevertheless, the people of Yakutsk have learned to adapt to these extremely challenging conditions. And in this severe and unforgiving climate, they rely more on each other and have closer relationships. In fact, they need each other's support to cope with everyday challenges. This, of course, also helps strengthen family bonds as well as friendship bonds. If you ask my honest opinion about romantic relationships in Yakutsk, I would truly say that I indeed believe love and human relationships can flourish in any condition, even in such extremely harsh environments. This also demonstrates the incredible power and resilience of humans. But what do you think? Do you think it's possible to imagine a romantic life in such conditions? Write your opinion in the comments so we can have a lively and entertaining discussion together. But what lesson do we take from this video? It is that life and love in Yakutsk, despite the severe and bone-chilling cold, demonstrate the adaptability and endurance of humans. These people, despite many challenges, establish deep and lasting relationships and build strong families.